analysis. Agosa Igbeka, the sports maestro, and CJ, the maestro, are with me right here in the studio. Guys, we've got a reaction now from Remo Stars over what happened yesterday. They are saying that it was the players of Bendel Insurance that triggered the whole fracas that happened.
Well, if they're saying Bendel Insurance players triggered the whole fracas, it doesn't still remove the fact that the fans of Remo Stars beat up some people from Bendel Insurance, which is wrong. You see, I think we need to stop discouraging, things like hooliganism in football. I love to very much. I would have loved them to come out to own up to what happened there yesterday. It's a football match that happened there in Ogun State, and one would expect when a fracas of this magnitude does, of course, break out, you are the home team, you take responsibility. You can't come out to say that the Bendel Insurance players started the whole fracas. Of course, how did they start it? Okay, let's assume the referee gave...
We'll read their statement, but just go on.
Okay, let's assume the referee gave a red card to a Bendel Insurance player. Your job, you're not the referee of the match. The referee will, of course, walk up to the player and say, okay, you're not going to take that very exit. You have to take the nearest exit, which the FIFA laws, of course, very much support, and if the player refuses to do that, there are ways to go about it. There are laws to that. At the end of it all, at the end of 90 minutes after the match, you can, of course, raise the matter. At the end, we'll look at it and then maybe give the player, a further ban or thereabouts. But then you don't take laws into your hands. Your job is not to do the job of the referee. If you have to do the job of the referee, then there's no need for us to have the arbiters of the law, on the pitch of the play every day of a match. So let's say. We're still very much waiting for the NNL to come out to make a proper statement on this one. I think they are delaying about this because by now we should have gotten a statement from them. If we can get a reaction from Remo Stars, we should get something from the NNL to ensure that they do not, at least to a large extent, they do not support hooliganism. It's a dangerous part of football. It's gradually creeping in. One day, God forbid, somebody may die as a result of hooliganism, and then we'll start talking about another thing. So we'd love this one to be nipped on the bud.
People have actually died as a result of this. Remember, Ignewari George, the younger brother of George Finidi, died as a result of this. There was his team. He was playing for Sharks of Port Harcourt, if I recall correctly. But they went to play a game and they were shooting, and unfortunately, a stray bullet hit him, and he died in the car. And we've had, unfortunately, this kind of situations happening in Nigerian football.
Well, I think this is something we are going to continue to condemn because earlier today I watched the Saints, online on Facebook. My brother, you need to see how players had to start jumping up there, and while those guys were still on top defense, they were still chasing, and the Ramos players they just feel relaxed. At least in such a situation, you are a player, you go away to play matches. When things like this happen, I was expecting Remo Stars footballers to calm their fans to ensure that Bendel Insurance players they are safe. Those guys they just relax and allow the whole fans to start chasing Bendel Insurance players. Come on, that is not good. The way they were chasing those guys, if they had caught up with them, something else could have happened. Honestly, if somebody came to your state to play a football match, he's not jumping fence upon fence just to save his life. Come on, it doesn't make any sense.
I'm not going to say because Remo Stars players did not do anything. Well, they could have because of they are their fans, and maybe if they see a player of Remo Stars appealing, they would calm down and not do it. But look, to be brutally honest, it is not their role, it's not their job to ensure the safety of the players. It's supposed to be security agents who are supposed to do that. But whatever it is, even if we are not going to blame Remo Stars players, if they had done that, it would have been okay. Maybe it would have calmed the players of the fans. But since they didn't do that, I mean, the security, and I'm not, as I said, I'm not going to blame them because it really isn't their job to do that. If they did fine, it would have been, we'll be praising them to say, well, you guys did very well for forming a human shield over around the players of Bendel Insurance to ensure that they didn't get attacked. But my question would be, where was the security? Why did we have a situation where so many fans were descending on the players of Bendel Insurance? As I said, and I'm not exaggerating, honestly, if you like, you can go to YouTube and check Al Masri versus Al Ahly 2012 in the Egyptian in the Egyptian Premier League. People ran for their lives. 73 Al Ahly fans were killed. One policeman was killed, as well as one fan of Al Masri. So we are talking about 75 people died on that day after just one man. I saw Mohamed Abutrika running for his life, and they were all running out of the stadium, jumping fence and everything. And when I saw the way many insurance players were running yesterday, it just brought it brought back that memory, and it was really, really bad. And I was like, what is this? What is going on? How did we get to this point that players are running for dear life? And as I said, I was the guy actually eventually called me after I left the studio from Australia, because he says he follows Ben Insurance, and when he saw those pictures, as he was watching them on his phone, the way he was reacting, he was screaming like, "What is this? What is that?" And his co-workers were like, "What's going on?" And they came and they were watching the videos together, and they asked him, "Which country is this?" Tell them it's my country, it's in Nigeria. And they were just like, no, come on, this is not how you people should behave now. Why can't you behave in a more civilized manner? It's really horrible. And look, there have been arguments here and there. People are saying, well, and that's why we as we said in the morning, we're going to try to balance it. Everything that Bendel Insurance said, yeah, we've had, but we as journalists, we have to be a bit skeptical and say, well, they are going to present their side of the story. They are not going to come to tell us, oh, we're the ones that started the problem and everything. But we are not even talking about who caused what. The fact of the matter, what we could see from the video was that there were so many fans descending on Bendel Insurance. They were not attacking Remo Stars players. They were attacking Bendel Insurance players. As I said, I've called the media officer of Bendel of Remo Stars a couple of times. He has not responded. He has not picked the call, and I've sent a text message, but for some reason the text message is not delivering. But this is the statement that Remo Stars released. I'm going to read it verbatim, and it reads: Remo Stars Football Club condemns the unfortunate incident that happened during the match day 21 of the Nigerian National League against Bendel Insurance at the Remo Stars Stadium, Ikenne. An highly intense game was goalless in the 90th minute of the game plus additional time. Bendel Insurance goalkeeper Kolawole Oladapo, full of time-wasting antics, fell to the ground, removing his hand gloves, while Serki Ismail hid the gloves. Immediately, the center referee spotted him. He was issued a second yellow card, which resulted into a red card. Serki Ismail refused to leave the pitch of play for the dressing room as the rules stipulated, which irritated the fans and led to boos. Trying to calm the fans while seeking for the security personnel. They were trying to calm the fans and they were seeking for security personnel. So maybe the security personnel were not on the pitch when were not in the stadium when this thing was happening. To ensure the safe passage of Serki was CEO Mr. Adedoyin Ogungbefun. He received a furious, please, I'm reading it as they wrote it. This is the statement that was issued, please. It's unedited, okay? All right, so wait, maybe let's just take it from the beginning now so that we'll not even say anything until we finish. I'm reading the club statement from the beginning. Remo Stars Football Club condemns the unfortunate incident that happened during the match day 21 of the Nigerian National League against Bendel Insurance at the Remo Stars Stadium, Ikenne. An highly intense game was goalless in the 90th minute of the game, plus additional time. Bendel Insurance goalkeeper Kolawole Oladapo, full of time-wasting antics, fell to the ground, removing his gloves, while Serki Ismail hid the gloves. Immediately, the referee spotted him. He was issued a second yellow card, which resulted into a red card. Serki Ismail refused to leave the pitch of play for the dressing room as the rules stipulated, which irritated the fans and led to boos. Trying to calm the fans while seeking for the security personnel to ensure the safe passage of Serki was CEO Mr. Adedoyin Ogungbefun. He received a furious hit on the face from Serki, which led to the other players and officials of Bendel Insurance dashing down to the scene, which infuriated the fans and led to the fracas. Remo Stars Football Club condemns and never encourage all acts of football violence and hooliganism on and off the field of play. It is quite important and pertinent to note that this happened outside the pitch of play, as play was about to restart from a corner kick. This was not a case of poor officiating as speculated in the media, as no match official was assaulted before, during and after the game. Lastly, it is important to note that all players and officials of Bendel Insurance are in good condition. The injured player has been given the best of health care to ensure he is fine, and the incident was reported to the police command as investigation are ongoing. We will ensure all assistance needed by the authorities to carry out their investigation is fully provided, and is signed by the management. So that's how the content of the statements that they released.
I was listening to that statement from you, and I didn't see any part that said we are sorry for what our fans did against Bendel Insurance.
They said we condemned.
Condemning and saying sorry is not the same thing. You know, I would love them to say we are sorry for what happened. You can condemn a particular thing in public.
They said all the players of Bendel Insurance are in good condition. I said, you know, when you
from the videos and the pictures we are saying, they are not in good condition for goodness sake.
We saw cuts, when the face and
when you send an item, you know, you ensure you bring it back in good condition. Apart from the one who was injured and he was given the best health care available.
Honestly, this is something that is not really good, honestly. And if you look at it, if you look at the comments, on Facebook, you wonder what would happen if Remo Stars had not played against Bendel Insurance, in the reverse fixture. You know that they came here and they were beaten, and now people are saying, thank God they played the reverse fixture. If not,
somebody that saw the videos, he posted on my page, and he said no, it was actually the page of a Remo Stars fan, and then he said, and honestly, even the Remo Stars fan was saying, look, I'm disappointed, the NNL should take action, they should sanction Remo Stars. So he now said, look, this is war that he just hopes that when they come to Benin, nothing will happen. And I now told him, look, Benin people are peaceful, Remo Stars are our brothers, they've been here several times and nothing has happened to them, so no problem. They will come here, they will play their game, and they'll go back, and nothing is going to happen to them. We were not, the people of Benin City are not violent and all of that. But even from the statement that they released, saying that it was Bendel Insurance fans, but in spite of everything that they said, according to what they are saying, their CEO went to protect Serki. But from what we saw, the player was already out of the pitch. He was not on the field of play. They said he was wasting time. But even if he is wasting time, it is not the job of a fan or an official of Remo Stars or even a player to stop him from wasting time. It's the referee, and the referee basically what he does is to point to his clock and tells him, look, I have stopped there. If you like, spend the whole day there. It is by the time you leave the pitch that I'm going to restart this, and that's when the match is going to continue. But they said that Serki Ismail hit the gloves. From what the media officer of Bendel Insurance told us, he actually held the gloves for the goalkeeper so that he could get attention. And when the referee issued him the red card, well, we've seen players try to hold on a bit before leaving the pitch. But it was actually, from the videos that we saw, he had left the pitch. He was going out when this whole thing happened. As they rightly pointed out, I don't even know why they didn't restart play, because the player was out of the pitch, and it was Remo Stars that was supposed to take the corner kick. I don't know why the player did not take it, whether he had instruction from the referee to hold on, but the player wasn't on the pitch. He was on his way out. So they said it was the CEO who came. Maybe the CEO of the club came and was trying to force the guy out. I don't know. From what I saw, I did not even see, because honestly, we've got to be really honest about this. It was not, I'm sure it wasn't even a very powerful camera that was used. Maybe it was even a phone that was used to shoot that video. So we didn't see, because there was a crowd there, so I didn't see who hit who. From what they are saying, the player slapped their CEO, and that was what's now made. But for God's sake, as we even mentioned in the morning, it would have even been better if they say the two set of players force themselves on the pitch. It's bad. It's not something you want to see. But we know that it happens. Even in Europe, we have seen players fighting themselves on the pitch. If that were just the case, fine. But now you said a player of Bendel Insurance slapped the CEO. And let's even say, for the sake of argument, we want to accept that. I wish we had the media officer here. These are the kind of questions we'll ask him. So if the player of Bendel Insurance slapped the CEO of Remo Stars, is that justification for the fans to now descend on the players who were on the pitch?
It's not justifiable in any way. I think you look at this statement, you have got so many loopholes on this very statement, coming from, I think it's coming from the image maker of Remo Stars. Would love Remo Stars to do better, in future. You don't come out and in a subtle manner try to defend, this very one. It looks as if they are backing their fans on it, and it doesn't make sense. I'm looking at the video right now, and from what I can say, it was really dangerous stuff that actually happened there in Shagamu yesterday. And for the likes of me, I just hope the NNL can do a proper job on this very one, because this should send a massive message to any fan or fans, or probably a football club who want to send their fans against the opposition team because they feel that the result is not going in their favor. I don't think there's any law in football that is, of course, against time wasting. You are allowed to use any method that is within the law to win a football match. If you feel like you want to waste time, I don't think there is any big deal about that. For goodness sake, it's
the referee should be the one to time.
The referee can decide to add time.
Look at that, the UEFA Champions League final between Chelsea and Manchester City.
Yeah.
The referee said 7 minutes, and people were shocked. I saw the Chelsea bench, because there was this sight and sound of the final, and they were showing the Chelsea bench. They were saying maximum 5 minutes. So when that board went up and it was 7 minutes, they were incredulous. And Thiago Silva was so, he's normally cool and everything. He got injured in the first half. He smashed a water bottle because he was like, where the hell did 7 minutes come from? That it should not be more than 5 minutes. Nobody was beaten. So they gave 7 minutes. So the referee, in his wisdom, indicated to the fourth official that I want 7 minutes. Maybe Chelsea wasted time, and that's why they decided to give 7 minutes. So if a player of Bendel Insurance was wasting time, all the referee had to do was to add to the time. He already had 7 minutes, and it was after 5 minutes that this incident, from what both sides are saying, happened. So all he had to do was to, even if he likes, he will say, okay, we've already played 5 minutes, now you are wasting time. He's supposed to add 2 minutes more. But if he decides to say, okay, it's going to be 3 minutes, he's the center referee. Let him do his job. The fans didn't need to get involved in what happened.
Well, they didn't. But then, like we said before, it has now to be about the NNL now. This will set an example. If they do it right, we don't want a case where they would, of course, come out and then, start looking at things that did not happen on the day. So we're looking at them to come out and do a proper statement on this one. And then hopefully in the next, 1 week or 2 weeks, we should hear that the proper punishment has been meted out to those who were found culpable. Beating up players, officials, referees has no place in Nigerian football. In the Nigerian Professional Football League, we see that once in a while, but then I think it has reduced, at least this season. Anytime we see that happen, we see the LMC release a statement, hitting a big hammer on the football club, and of course asking the football club to produce those set of fans who lay their hands on referees. I think we'll want something like that, to happen, because if we don't start producing hooligans who touch referees, I don't think there's any way that this will stop in Nigerian football. Okay,
Bendel Insurance has also released a statement. Actually, we spoke to the media officer in the morning, but they've now released a statement, so we will be reading their statement after we return from this break.
Oh yes, Nasco quality cornflakes are so full of nourishing goodness because they are whole-flaked cornflakes. Whole-flaked cornflakes are made by a natural flaking process that retains all the natural goodness of the whole corn for whole nutrition, whole taste, and whole crunchiness for the whole family. So next time you're eating cornflakes, make sure it's whole-flaked Nasco cornflakes. Nasco cornflakes, nourishing goodness anytime.
The place and it brighten. Make everybody they wonder. Waiting because I'll be shining. Lush hair, lush hair. Long hair or short doesn't matter. Crochet or dreadlocks can be better. Only for girls we know better. Lush hair, lush hair. So you want to slay? Slay with swag. lush hair. Straight or curly, you know they tango. Lie, gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. You wonder how I shine like this. I'm on a lush hair, be the coco. Say you want to know. And if you wanna be fine like me, I can show you where to go. A lush hair, be the coco.
Beautiful people know how to make an impression, and that's why they only trust Lush Hair Extensions to bring out the shine in them. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
All right, welcome back to Balls of Fire, live on 90.7 KFM Benin City with me, Salih Ibrahim, the sports Ibracadabra, Egosa Igbekan, the sports maestro, and CJ, the maestro. Okay, let's look at the statement released by the media officer of Bendel Insurance, Kende Osagede. And it says, Bendel Insurance players and officials suffered repugnant and inhuman treatment in the hands of Remo Stars FC players, fans, and some officials during the Sunday 6 June 2021 evening game at Remo Stars FC Stadium, Ikenne, Ogun State. We first and foremost thank God no life was lost. Then Insurance played good football and behaved orderly throughout the period of the game. Trouble started when Insurance goalkeeper Kolawole was injured and the center referee called for care for him, only for Remo Stars players to be fomenting trouble in our area. In the process, one of them was issued a yellow card. The ref then paid attention on the injured goalkeeper, only for one of Remo players in their old trick to commit opponent shouted, and without wasting time, the referee issued a second yellow card to our striker, Serki Ismail. While Serki was walking out of the field, a senior official of Remo Stars with some fans encroached the pitch and started forcing Serki out. Serki tried to avoid their trouble, but it was too late for him, and they descended on him and started beating him up. The captain of Insurance, Maurice Prince, who also tried to help calm the situation, was not spared either. The most repugnant and barbaric part of the ugly incident was when the police aide attached to Remo was held our captain and insisted Remo's fans to assault him. But these are allegations that Bendel Insurance are making. We cannot independently verify this. Consequently, about 8 of our players and club secretary Charles Ihimekpen, aka Chico, sustained various degrees of injuries. The secretary was unconscious for about 20 minutes. Wow, that's serious. So I hope our friend Chico is okay. The 2 video cameras we used in the match were damaged as the Remo fans seized the gadget for hours and carefully selected the tapes that would show what happened and deleted them. The same was done to our media officer, whose 2 phones and power bank were seized, and all videos and photos about the incident were thoroughly selected, while the ones during the incident were deleted before their team manager and a police officer later returned them damaged. And he went on to say, Bendel Insurance players were overwhelmed with the assault and had to run away from the stadium, jumping the fence for safety, as dangerous weapons, including iron rods, woods, and sticks, were freely used against us. The security arrangement was too poor that only about 3 policemen attached to the Remo chief were seen in the stadium. As a matter of fact, Remo Stars management and Ogun State FA disregarded the NNL/NFF COVID-19 rules, which prohibit spectators and large crowd at mad venues, and they as well breached security protocols. As the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Right Honorable Comrade Philip Shaibu, received insurance team in Benin today, the second assistant coach of Bendel Insurance FC, Stanley Osaze, collapsed from his chair and is currently receiving medical attention at the Government House Clinic. And this is signed by Kende Osagede, the media officer of Bendel Insurance. So But first of all, we hope that everybody is okay. As I said, we've seen the videos of some of these things that the media officer is talking about, and they were really not pleasant at all. So we hope that the NNL will wade into this matter and review the evidence and then take decisive action. Bendel Insurance, they've released a statement. Remo Stars have also released a statement. Both sides saying, yeah, we can see clearly that violence happened, but what caused it? That is where we have some discrepancies. Bendel Insurance are saying that Remo Stars, after their player was sent off, the high-ranking official of Remo Stars and some fans descended on him. Remo Stars are saying that the Bendel Insurance player refused to leave, and when he was irritating the fans, so to protect him, I don't know whether it is the job of the CEO to protect the player of Bendel Insurance, that he came to protect him, but the player didn't want that, and he hit him, and that's what made the fans to descend on that player. And then when other players of Bendel Insurance came to save their comrade, they were also beaten up. So that's the situation. As I said, it's really ugly. So we hope that the NNL will get on this matter and decisively deal with it. They have got to investigate and tell us who is really guilty and punish that person. Okay, let's move on now to other stories. We can tell you that Ben White has been called up as a replacement for Trent Alexander-Arnold in the England squad. We know that Alexander-Arnold unfortunately was injured in that match against Austria. Incidentally, it was that same game that Ben White made his debut. He's a central defender, and he has now been called into the team. He started in center back position along with Tyrone Mings in Sunday's victory over Romania.
Well, he took his time to decide this very one. A lot of people thought that he would, of course, go for the Manchester United midfielder, talking about Jesse Lingard, but then that didn't, of course, happen. He decided to go for a defender for a defender. Well, it's his own decision, but then you talk about this England team, you talk about Gary Southgate. You would, of course, look at this English team, you would say they may have come of age or thereabouts since 2018, that, of course, he performed very well at the 2018 World Cup till now. They may have matured, but then it's relatively pretty very much a young team. You cannot say they're one of the favorites to win the Euros. Of course, one of the contenders, no doubt about that. But then this team, they see very much a massive doubt about it. That's maybe why the likes of Harry Maguire, even though injured, and of course Jordan Henderson, even also though not 100% fit, is in this very squad to ensure that there's that leadership trait on this in this very team, and then also to ensure that there's some level of experience in this very setup. So let's see how he gets to go for Gary, because I look at this team, I'm not very convinced that they can go at the distance at the Euros.
Okay, that is the situation. Now let's talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We know that tomorrow they will be playing another match against the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon. So let's tell you what is happening in camp. We hear that another player has joined. His name is Vincent Onovo, and he plays for Újpest FC of Hungary. He's a midfielder, so he has joined the camp, and the players are now back to 21. William Troost-Ekong, who got injured, has left camp to treat himself. So with Vincent Onovo joining them, they are now 21.
I started him to call up a defender, to replace William Troost-Ekong, who has left for his club, to get to sort out the injury worries and all that. But now bringing a midfielder. It's new. It may be his first time in the camp. Plays for Újpest in the Hungarian, a top flight. Yeah, fine, no doubt about that. I think it would have been better to get, a defender instead of calling up a midfielder.
Yeah, but are defenders available? He was complaining before that he might have to play with 3 defenders. So, who are the available defenders that he could have called up? Not from the Nigerian Professional Football League in Europe.
It's going to be a very difficult decision coming from Garnacho, but then it's a case of who is available now, and that's of course the way it is for Kurt Garnacho. Nobody even expected him to go to Hungary to get a midfielder to replace a centre back. Maybe it may be a weird decision, but then it's a case of who is on ground, to get the call up, and who can of course come to the camp as quickly as possible without any hitches whatsoever. So let's see. He has said he will play 3 centre backs tomorrow against Cameroon. So we've got to redeem ourselves. So we lost that game on Friday in Austria in a bizarre manner. Many Nigerians didn't, of course, expect us to lose in that very way. But then we need to redeem our image tomorrow. Nothing is at stake. It's an international friendly. But when you're playing against your bitter rivals, you've got to make a statement in that one. I will hope that Coach Garnacho would, of course, get it right, especially with his selection. I had an ex-international, of course, making a case for the goalkeepers in the camp of the Super Eagles, saying Coach Garnacho should try as much as possible to use all of them. We've got 2 more goalkeepers that he's not played. There's John Noble from Enyimba. There is also Francis Uzoho, also from Cyprus, that he has of course not made use of. So we're hoping that tomorrow we would most likely see John Noble or probably Francis Uzoho be in goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria versus Cameroon.
All right, let's take this commercial, and when we return, we will be hearing from you guys. Stay tuned.
Jumia's 9th anniversary from the 11th to the 27th of June. Code word Versary. Yes, everything anniversary.
Say what?
Phoneversary. Get phones at unbeatable prices.
Okay, let me try. Conversary?
Yup, you get up to 30% off on home appliances, plus daily flash sales and amazing giveaways, including free delivery for 1 year.
With Jumia 9th anniversary sale, celebrate your everyday from the 11th to the 27th of June 2021.
Jumia, your everyday delivered.
All right, guys, welcome back. Time for you to be a part of the show. Call us on 070-6263-9275 or 090-3939-4427. You can also reach us on 081-2178-9154 or 080-7400-9076. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, Danjuma. How are you doing?
Good evening.
Good evening, Danjuma.
Good evening.
Good evening, bros. Welcome.
God bless you. What you happen to get the insurance? You know, say, not be today this kind of thing that they happen to get the insurance. You don't think, you can remember when deputy governor complained about 2 seasons ago. It happened, last season it happened, various times it happened for if the insurance don't be 1 win match for you, their fans, they will then with it, destroy that man. I think what you happen today, yesterday, make the recorder, make the lay their complaint, go give the body who is in charge of the if the business are the one who better insurance go for rest first, make the rest so that all those countries, make the rest they go away to them. If anybody calls play match for Benin City, you know they do those countries for the deputy governor, he go over encourage this. Every day if they want lose match for a district, he go encourage this and men are not take place in our hand. Why be say our own come be different things? I bet make them investigate that issue. No, those countries, now only Nigeria, this country for the apple. I bet, now do it.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Mourinho.
Good evening.
Good evening. Greetings to you guys.
Good evening, Jose.
Good evening.
First of all, I want to say my condolences for the family of late T.B. Joshua of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, who just passed away. So, for insurance, I think we've gone past this kind of character for me, although we still are waiting official investigation reports. So we cannot really conclude yet. And the last thing I want to say, if this coach cannot lead insurance back to the Premiership, it should be sacked for me, because we have to mean business. We have to copy from the Europeans too. We have to take away sentiment. We have to be in the Premiership. We cannot keep romancing National League as if we are doing something big. We should keep sacking coaches every now and then until we win the Champions League like Chelsea did. So I know that it's not a one-man show. It's a government-run something, but we should try to get another coach. We have to bring in some seriousness on technical crew, on the coaches, and so on and so forth. It will trickle down to the players. As for Aguero's father's allegation or accusation of Pep Guardiola, I want to say that I had some comments. I think I agree with the postulations of Aguero's father that Pep Guardiola's tears were crocodile tears, because he could have kept the guy. He could have asked City to give him 1 or 2 more years. Why crying for a player who is leaving when you are the one who sanctioned his exit as a coach? For no player leaves without the coach permission from the board. So for me, I want to accentuate that yes, it was crocodile tears. In fact, it was maybe cow tears, some other tears, because it was very bad. It was hypocritical.
All right, thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, Victory, welcome.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Mr. CJ.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Go on.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I called to condemn the incident that happened, I think, yesterday. It's really bad. Doesn't tell well of the Nigerian league at all. And against this match, perhaps, like I've been streamed and we have to tell all over the world, like fans, watching the match. And when they watch with their foreign friends, how would they be able to go for the league to them that we have a standard league? So all these things are happening because I see the team, they know that the MLA or whatever, I don't know, the MLA, there's no standard punishment for anything. You do like no standard punishment. When you do this thing, you get this fine, you get this fine, you get this punishment. And that's like, you don't cast on so that you must win a match. It's just because they didn't say that much. I see that as what led to it. It's not just because the person wasted time or but you see that won that match. Something wouldn't have happened that way. There's no, this is happening. This president has won the match. And this is what leads to the officials to being biased sometimes, because I really scared if they don't favor the own team, they might get hurt. And then I will see poor officiating. No much security personnel on ground, nothing, and people come, hurt. And sometimes I know another team scared to go away to play match in such places, because they don't know what might happen to them. So I really think they should, this needs to be done the right way. They should call both parties, do thorough investigation, and the right punishment should be given to who is guilty. If the player is guilty of not wanting to lose the field, he should be punished too. If the other club is guilty of what happened, they should be punished, like spoil deduction and big fines this way for them. I think the other time to deter other people from doing such things. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Victory. Hello.
Good evening, bro.
Good evening.
Good evening, Maestro.
Jesse, good evening.
Yeah, the CJ Maestro, good evening.
Good evening, welcome.
My tip to this Bender insurance issue that they should investigate the incident very well. And anybody that is at fault, they should be sanctioned. If the Remonster is at fault, I think they should award the 3 points and the 3 goals to Bender insurance. That's all about that. And they should give them better sanction, very, very big one, so that the other club or other away club should be, or home club, sorry, should be learning from this one. It's very, very bad to do what they did yesterday. It's very wrong. What if somebody have died? What will happen? And I thank God that our deputy governor will not travel with them. That would be very, very embarrassing to our following deputy governor. So I wish them all the best. And for Nigeria tomorrow, it's a second chance for them to prove us wrong that maybe that on Saturday on or being Friday on was a fluke. They should win a Euro match, so they should be draw 1-1. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, Chelsea. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, this is good.
Okay, Sake, go on.
How are you doing that?
Everybody's fine, go on.
Thank you. The match, what was the sense of the match? Was it 0-0 or was there any time leading?
The Bender Nationals versus Remo? Yeah, it was goalless as at the time that the problem started.
Okay. So what I want to say concerning this issue is that there's already a law that is being concerning when any issue like this happens in this our Nigerian league. Now, if they have been doing it like this, and you see that they are not, they don't care about the law that they put it, that is the law is actually put a law. It's not enough. That is just it. And once even if the Arsenal is there, there should be no sentiment in it. This is what happened. The whole world is watching Nigeria League and Africa League as a whole. If it is something like this, how would the league now go? How would the league now go? There's no elite team slapping a player, they found putting up they all beating up players in the city very, very wrong. It's not supposed to be like that at all. So we want the Nigeria to the MLS to make sure give a very heavy passion in that in such a thing so that it will not happen next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. And something is happening here, and that's what makes Hausa people to say Nashiga Uku. It means I'm in trouble. You know, when I was calling the numbers for them to call, I mentioned 070-7400-9076. But that's the text line. And we've always said do not call that line. So it has been ringing non-stop since. Please, I beg you, do not call because we can't pick it. It is our text line. And by the time we start reading the text messages, your calls is going to interfere. You know, I can't be reading. When you are reading a text and a call comes in, it disrupts that thing that you are reading. So please, we beg you, it was a mistake. I beg. You're not supposed to call 080-7400-9076. Please, I beg you. As we are talking, it is still ringing. So please do not call that line. We beg you. It's only for text message. Send us a text message on that line. Hello.
Hello, my children.
Mr. Philip Otobo, welcome, sir.
God bless you. I did one of my guy, my children too. So I just want to quickly go to the issues I want to talk about. This is Remo they call themselves. Because they are number one of the league, Ibrahim. Abi?
Yeah, they are.
They are number one. And we were playing here before the Federation of the Canada. We wanted to be there. And at the end of the year, we were able to get something from that match. That was the annoyance. Nothing more than that. I hope they will not come and tell them that in the remaining 2 minutes we should come back and play it. That's what we do sometimes. They come and play the remaining 2 minutes. I don't know whether they have earlier come here already.
Hello?
Right.
Yes.
Were they here before?
Remaster, yeah, they have been here. They've been here several times. But even this is they've been here, and Benin Insurance beats them 1-0. 1-0. There was some controversy because Benin Insurance got a penalty. They thought it wasn't a penalty, but from the replay, it was clear. Even Osewa Young Samuel was having that argument with one of their fans and told the person, come on, this was handball now. So the referee ought to have given the penalty, which he did. So Benin Insurance converted that penalty and they scored. But this match now that they played, look, if win, lose or draw, they will still have been top. So there was really, it wasn't like it was the last match of the season, and if they didn't win, it was going to be a big problem for them.
Yes, that was just the annoyance. They wanted to use everything, and the referee is a God-fearing person. They didn't want to stake that game for them. And I have watched several matches. I know where a goalkeeper has been given a yellow card for time wasting. So it's the referee duties and responsibility. Okay, that is a better insurance. We pray that we will switch on that this year. Then to Nigeria Cameroon match. You know how we play how we defend us. We couldn't even do anything much. We are able to our shots in the front. I hope they should put that. If they want to they should put that their game in the front in the last game. This one, now we don't have the back. I just hope that we should be able to put that. Then I have to pray for the head. I tell Nigerians. If you take care of whatever the result. So, God bless you guys.
God bless you, Mr. Philip Otobo. One more call and then we'll look at the text messages. Hello?
Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening, Ibrahim and Usa and CJ.
Yeah, Kingsley, good evening. You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Kingsley from Technical School.
Yeah, go on, Kingsley.
Very quickly, Ibrahim will know, you will say, I will always comment on this when it comes to racism. This is what spoils racism now. That's my definition. Now, a match is going on, and like you said this morning, people were watching from outside the country and saw a wild fight. It's not a football match. And you know, they asked, why wouldn't this thing be televised live? Why wouldn't the NLC, whatever, who those in charge? Because if we're all watching, you know, there's something about when people are watching you, you want to be careful. And like what you just read now, the Remo Stars man is saying we want to help the man. Why would you want to help a player? That's not your duty. I mean, from what you've read so far, we've not. And what's going to happen afterwards? Now, you're going to hear Okura investigating 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, 6 months. And we're going to bring in politics into it, bring tribal sentiments into it. At the end of the day, we'll say, let's know, and you just hear one thing. And the real culprits will go free. So, when you watch this other matches, you watch match in Europe, you see the way everything is done. There is no way these guys will look down on us.
No. This is where we always have a disagreement. We cannot say because of certain things.
I agree with you. I agree.
Nothing justifies racism.
All I'm saying, I agree. But all I'm saying is that let's do our own part. Look, listen. When the other day I followed on the Nigerian Cameroon match, the commentary on Pidgin English, and it is wonderful.
Yeah.
The guy did a good job. He's speaking English, but he was doing it. And one thing I loved about him, when Cameroon scored, you could see the way he also shouted. Just he wasn't it's a Nigerian guy, but he gave the same emotion. Beautiful, giving us a balanced view. Just what we see. That's why I keep a date to KUFM. There's that you don't know who you all have your own teams. I know you all have your teams, but when you are reading these things, you see the fun, the balanced view about it. So in my own way, I want to encourage all of us listening. Let's be the best in whatever we do. If you're a referee, be the best. Policeman, be the best. Our committee, be the best. Let's give out the best. We can. We're not inferior people. That's the truth. I know we're not inferior. I'm not inferior to the white man. I know that. But let all of us do it. Like when we talk, like your station is doing very well. When the match is going on, I've heard KFM say, don't quarrel, don't fight. Let all of us do the same. That's why I love your station. You know? Well, I want to stop at this, and I hope tomorrow that Nigeria will live up. Because what happened? See, that guy that scored that goal. If you don't shoot, you don't score. The guy took a shot from outside and he got a goal. But I saw Nigerians, if I want to open the match, Paul had a chance, we were trying to shoot. But look, we should not dribble into the game like Arsenal used to do those days. We want to dribble right into the net. Take your shots, take your chances, and let's get this goal. But for me anyway, whether we win or not, I am not really interested about it. It's a friendly game. But let the coach be able to build a team. Let's have first 11, second 11. Not that we keep every day we are gambling who will come, and all that. Well done, guys.
Well done, Wesley. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Okay, let's quickly look at the text messages. This one says, it's like Arsenal is ready again at the transfer market. We are watching. Rush will be put on the hot seat to win the Nations Cup from Godwin Aiboha. Okay, I'm sure you're being sarcastic because Arsenal, they just lost out in a battle to Aston Villa.
Can't imagine.
Aston Villa, Arsenal losing a player Buenda to Aston Villa.
Aston Villa beat them.
God. Good evening, sports gurus. About the Bender insurance issue, my question is: has NCDC NFF lifted the ban on fans to stadia in Nigeria, and this shall form the basis of insurance protest? Henry from Benin. Well, there wasn't really a ban like fans should not watch, but you have to obey COVID-19 protocols. We've seen matches now since these things happened, and the fans have been coming. Even here in Benin, fans go to watch many insurance matches, but you must obey the COVID-19 rules. Greetings, sports gurus. What Remo fans is not MOR, is REMO, okay? What Remo fans did is unacceptable in football. However, they should be sanctioned. I like your third analyst accent. He will go far in the job. Would he mind if we should call him CJ Incredible? Since Gosa already BS Maestro and Obed from Upper Mission. Well, if you want to change your name,
that sounds like a boxer.
let's take with CJ the Maestro. I was surprised when I learned that Jordan Henderson haven't scored a goal for England national team when he missed that penalty yesterday. Keep up the good work, guys. United, he missed the penalty, and Marcus Rashford had the penalty, which he scored. Now, please tell me if I am saying things, but did Man City players just win 4 over 4 awards for Player of the Year and Young Player of the Year in a season where they lost the UEFA Champions League final to an English side, and a certain English striker became the first player since 1993-94 to top both the assist and goals chart, and a certain Bruno broke Lampard's record for over 10 years. I think someone should investigate the league for corruption. Come on, the guys who won, are you going to argue with that? Yes, these players you mentioned had fantastic seasons, but bottom line, they didn't win the English Premier League. That's come on, we know how these things are done. Yes, you could say, well, that's a team award, but is it not individuals that make up the team? So I have no problem with Manchester City players. And you're talking about losing in the final of the Champions League. Well, it is not the UEFA awards that we're talking about here. It is the English Premier League award. So they deserve it. Hello, good evening, sportsmen. Hassan, you've come with this your episode. It's so devastating to hear all that transpired and the ugly incidents in that game between Remo Stars and Bendel Insurance. On no authority does the fans of the home team have the right to attack an opponent's players. I'm just glad that no life was lost, and deem it fit that the NNL looks into the matter, take decisive action, and punish the guilty party involved. Also, it's sad that Serena Williams was knocked out of the French Open. Time and age are really telling on her at the moment, and I really find it difficult to believe if she can still make it to that 24th Grand Slam she has been craving for. But I wish her all the best. Also, all the best to the Super Eagles in the game tomorrow. Keep up the good job, guys. Thanks. Hassan texting from the University of Benin in Ogbawa. Okay. Good evening, men of sport, Oga Abracadabra, Oga Agusa, and CJ. What Remo Stars fans did yesterday is the reason why an African team cannot win the World Cup. I don't understand. What's the correlation between fans misbehaving and the players winning the World Cup? Win at all costs at home. Remo Stars have to be banished from the stadium for their next 3 games, direct from GRA. Okay. Now, wow, this one local and international disgrace. What happened shows say the sports system in Nigeria has to grow. This includes having a proper security system. Daniel from Sapele Road. But it's not only in Nigeria that such things happen, but it's bad. There is no sugarcoating it. It was horrible. Good evening, sportsmen. Please, I want to know the latest transfer news by knowledge. Knowledge, I don't know, transfer of which club now. Please, what is the time for Nigeria's match tomorrow? Uzo from Ikuba Hill. Do we have the time yet?
It's 5 p.m. Then we'll confirm more about that, hopefully tomorrow.
Okay. Oga Ibrahim, which player Aston Villa beat Arsenal to buy this country now? Wow, I beg any update on Chelsea transfer? Blue blood from Depot. What's the guy's name? Buendia.
Instead of Arsenal.
Yeah, and now let is just about Arsenal bidded 35 and they bid 38, and that's how Aston Villa got him ahead of Arsenal. Okay, I thought we could take one more call, but no. Let's just take one more text message. Good evening, sports seers. Thank you for differentiating Ibrahim on Facebook and on radio for us. Any signing for Chelsea yet? Sonny from Sapele Road, special advisor to the governor on car matters. No, they have. Chelsea have not made any signing just yet. All right, guys. Thank you. Sorry, we can't take any more calls. We've got to go now to make way for the news. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Sally Ibrahim. They call me the Sports Ibracadabra because I bring magic to sports presentation and analysis. I go like the Sports Maestro has joined me on the show, as well as CJ the Maestro. And thank you very much, guys, for being with us all the way from 4 p.m. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and this time we'll be talking all sports, not just football. All right, please stay tuned. KU News Update is KU News Break is up at 5 p.m. Bye-bye.
Mr. Challenger.